Tonight on Sports Extra, high school football rolls on in North Dakota and Minnesota. We catch up with UND, NDSU, and MSUM football. The Minnesota Vikings turn to Carson Wentz after JJ goes down with an injury. And we have the Chris Heise Play of the Week nominees. KVRR Sports Extra starts right now. Good evening and welcome to KVRR Sports Extra. I'm Aaron Walling and that's Ryan Bolin. We want to start by saying any scores not final on the show tonight can be found on our website afterwards. And a lot to get through tonight, and of course, we start on the gridiron with high school football.
Yeah, that is right. We start east of the Red River in Moorhead, where the Moorhead Spuds are coming off their first loss of the season last week to Minnetonka. After back-to-back 4-hour road trips to the Twin Cities Metro, the Spuds are back home to host Wayzata. Star quarterback Jet Feeney out again. Junior Austin Dryberg gets his second straight start. First quarter, Moorhead facing a 4th and goal. Wayzata's Briggs Opp makes the stop in the backfield on Moorhead's Tay Rich for the turnover on downs. The Trojans, though, would later punt. Next Spuds drive, 4th and goal from the 12. Dryberg to David Mack. 7-0 Spuds on the score, but a response from the Trojans. 18-yard passing touchdown from Thor Sokup to John Evans to tie the game at 7. But Moorhead takes a 14-7 lead on this 10-yard Tay Ridge touchdown run and would lead 21-7 at the break. And as we check the final, the Spuds survive a comeback attempt, winning this one 28-27. Down I-94 in Barnesville, the Trojans are looking to get back on track and start a new regular season winning streak after losing to Pillager a week ago. That streak was 30 in a row. Tonight they host Holly. The Trojans, they lead by 2 here in the second quarter, but Holly's defense making a play. A rare pass here from Barnesville, and it's Uriah Cooley with the sack to force a 3rd and long. But after converting on a Cameron Halverson rush, it's Halverson again here. The defense was fooled as he goes untouched into the end zone to extend the lead to 10 after the 2-point conversion. Holly looking to respond, 4th down in the red zone, but check this out. Logan Eller with the interception as the Trojans regain possession. And how about a Trojans touchdown pass? Jacob Strand to Parker Strom. At last check, it is 38-36 late in the 4th quarter, but that has just gone final, so Barnesville back on top. And some other scores, Aaron, you got for us from Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at that. A top 5 ranked battle in Fergus Falls tonight. The Otters win it to stay unbeaten 27-16, and Detroit Lakes falls 28-20 to St. Cloud Tech at home.
Scores in 3A. DGF ranked number 7, taking on a 2A Pillager squad. They're good. They handed Barnesville their first regular season loss in 4 years last week, and Pillager breaks DGF's unbeaten streak 27-12. And the Green Wave go to War Road and win 28-7 over the Warriors. And in Class A, Red Lake County, they will stay unbeaten as they lead 49-14 late in the 4th quarter over Bagley. And a 9-player Stephen Argyle Central taking on 10th ranked Boston. Stephen Argyle wins big 35-zip. Jumping across the border now to North Dakota. Week 4 is here, and this season's proving to be anyone's to take, especially in Division 3.
Yeah, that is right. Every week, a new team has emerged at top of the rankings. Last week, it was Davies, but they fell to Bismarck Legacy by 10. Now, they are ranked 3rd and host 4th-ranked Bismarck High for a top 5 showdown. And who doesn't love football in the rain? And the Eagles come out on top against the Demons. Early first half, Hayden Bondley takes the snap, but here comes Alex Meese, the future MSUM Dragon, gets the sack. Now later on, Eagles at the 1. Xavier Muse takes the snap, keeps it himself, and plows into the end zone. Davies strike first, going up 7-0 on Bismarck. Same frame. Demons driving. Bondley gets it to Garrett Randolph, makes a man miss, stiff arms another, and look at him go. Touchdown, Bismarck. And we are tied at 7. But second quarter, 30 yards out. Colton Tesh takes the handoff, has blockers. What a juke, and he is gone. Eagles retake the lead. Davies rolls to a 42-13 win. Then up the road at Shanley High. Right now, Minot is currently leading 19-13 against the Deacons. But Shanley right now with the ball. Can they get the offense going? Look at this move. Shotgun formation, and Mattern gets it to John Eaton, who bowls over 2 players. But Minot gets the ball back here with a fumble recovery. Now, later on in the drive, red zone for Minot. Ball is snapped, and it's going to be a touchdown pass to Tariq Bell from Ryder Sutton, and they lead 27-13. But how will Shanley respond? Mattern in the pocket, steps up, heaves it down the field, and he's got Jake Kraft wide open. Deacons cut into the deficit, and they go on to win 54-34 over Minot. Other scores in Division 3A, Fargo North battling the top-ranked team in Division 2A, Minot North. The Sentinels win it by 21 to stay unbeaten. And a top 5 showdown in Bismarck tonight. Legacy, the new number 1, is hosting Horace. And the Hawks win it 14-13 to pick up the huge upset on the road. A couple more 3A games. Cheyenne on the road versus Mandan tonight. The Mustangs pick up the 1-point win to move to 500 on the year. And West Fargo 1-2 on the year coming in. But both losses by a combined 3 points. They are on the road taking on Century, but they get routed 29-0 by the Patriots.
The 2A, the Kindred fans don't mind a little rain and a little drive to Horace for this game against Jamestown. The Vikings giving fans a lot to cheer about early on. First drive, and Carson Schmidt is picked by Brooks Bacco. Bacco would go on to have a very big game. We're at the goal line here. Kindred gets on the board first with a touchdown from Clayton Althoff, and it's 7-0 Vikings. We already said Bacco was going to have a day. Here is that proof. Throw from Gabe Whipple to Bacco, and he is not going to stop until he scores. An 89-yard throw and run to extend the lead for the Vikings. Things go from bad to worse for the Blue Jays in the second. Schmidt's pass is going to be intercepted by Tannen Johnson, and it's a pick 6 for the big guy. Kindred, they roll to the win, 49-6, the final. Division 2A scores, Grand Forks Red River at home taking on Williston. Rough Riders win it by 37 over the Coyotes. And the dream start continues for Grand Forks Central. They move to 4-0 this season with a 28-point road win over Watford City. 2 more from 2A. Fargo South on the road taking on Devil's Lake. The 4th-ranked Firebirds win it by 16. And Central Cass on the road in Dickinson Squirrels take it by 15.
In Division A, coming off a top 5 win over EEK last week, Hillsborough Central Valley battle Northern Cass tonight. The Burros fall 6-0 to the Jaguars. And top-ranked Langdon Area Munich stays perfect with a win over Rugby. Also in Division A, Thompson looked to get over 500 tonight, hosting Harvey Wells County. Tommies win it by 2, sweating out a last-second touchdown by Harvey. And Grafton battling Turtle Mountain Spoilers pick up the road win by 36 points.
And finally, a few 9-man scores. The top 2 teams in action tonight. New Rockford Cheyenne Matic wins big over North Prairie, and Lemoore LM taking on 4th-ranked Hankinson. Top 5 matchup, but didn't look like it on the scoreboard. Lemoore wins by 30.
After the break, we catch up with UND football ahead of their game on Saturday. Welcome back. The UND Fighting Hawks will be back home to take on Valparaiso this weekend, but they'll be licking their wounds as they're coming off a tough loss to Montana.
After watching the tape, just didn't play well enough, at the end of the game. And lots of execution things that went on, some communication stuff. And we just got to do a better job, I feel like, of continuing to put our guys in some uncomfortable situations so they can grow. And then obviously in the first half, we got to do a better job of managing the game there. For the results that we had, there was an opportunity there to be able to have a bigger separation, between us and Montana. So we just got to be able to do a good job there of making sure that, that we handle those situations better, just with communication and all that kind of stuff.
While the defense couldn't hold on to the lead for UND, the offense made some plays to put this team ahead in the 4th quarter. But there were also turnovers and miscues that plagued North Dakota on the road. For example, the wide receiver room has been flashing on the field with players like BJ Fleming and Dang Dang popping on the screen. But according to offensive coordinator Isaac Frichte, there's more to what this group can do for the Fighting Hawks.
To be honest, they got to do more. The expectation is higher for those guys. They got to do more. And it comes down to the details, And to me, Coach Schmidt said it since he's been here as well. Like, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And we got to get those guys to be more detailed because, there's issues that we're having at times that, you get the block in the back or you get the penalty on the throw to Watson for a touchdown that are negated based off of that. And when you look at it, you're not getting points out of those drives all the time. And that's frustrating. And to me, it's about playing to the level of their standard.
UND will look to get back to 500 on the year when they take on Valpo at 3 p.m. tomorrow. The North Dakota State Bison have hit the bye week at 3-0 and now get ready for the Missouri Valley Football Conference slate when they welcome in South Dakota next week. Here's head coach Tim Polisic on his evaluation on how the Bison have played in 2025 so far.
As we look at 2025 as a whole, we're playing really good defense. I was able to watch all 3 games again collectively. Outside of specifics on opponents, it's just clear that we're playing together. We're playing extremely fast and physical. I think we've established some true depth at some spots, and I think there's some depth to still come.
Checking in on the offense, Cole Payton has been unreal this season with 71% throwing percentage, has 706 yards with 6 touchdowns as the starting quarterback. On the FCS level, NDSU ranks 4th in the nation at 46 points a game.
Really start to see what our identity is, who we can be. We still have a lot of room to go, long way to go, right? A lot of room to continue to grow and develop, and I'm excited for that part of it. I know our coaching staff is excited for that part of it too. Get an opportunity here this week to really dive into some issues that I think have held us back, continue to build upon some things that we're really excited about and what we're doing well right now and what we can continue to improve on.
On the defensive side of the ball, the Bison have been dominant. They've held opposing offenses to only 5.67 points a game, as Code Green also is top 3 in rushing yards allowed and the top team in limiting offenses to only 78.7 passing yards on average.
Right now we're hitting all of our season goals, all of our benchmarks as far as takeaways or giving up explosive plays, points per game, tackling, red zone defense. Our goals that we laid out for the season, we've hit all of those right now, not necessarily every single game, but overall for the entire season. So really pleased where we're at there.
Following the bye week, NDSU will return home to take on South Dakota for their homecoming game on September 27th. We'll dive more into this game next week. Now we catch up with the MSUM Dragons, who are home this week after getting a big win over Winona State. The Dragons are looking for their first ever 4-0 start since 1985 as they take on Wayne State College. But this coaching staff isn't focused on what happened 40 years ago as they face a Wildcats team that routed them last year.
I think we got to have a great focus, a great start to the football game. I think we got to go into it with some confidence, with a chip on our shoulder, understanding that last year it didn't go very well for us in the home opener. It was a team that really took it to us, and so we've got to be able to make sure that we come out, establish that this is going to be a game and that we're going to play a lot better than we did last year.
The Dragons can make history on Saturday when they take on 1-2 Wayne State College at 12 p.m. at the NIMSIC Stadium in Moorhead. Now to the Division III level, the Concordia Cobbers are 1-0, getting ready to take on St. Olaf of the MEAC Conference. Now the Cobbers are coming off a 17-6 win over Mayville State, who runs a triple option offense, and now get ready for a different attack from their foes.
Total different offense, right? So you're seeing triple option, and now you're seeing something totally different, and so it's probably good that we've had 2 weeks to kind of prepare, but they've had 2 weeks to prepare for us too. So our D obviously played an outstanding contest, and it was really a 60-minute contest for them, and really hats off to Kyle Bach and then our D coordinator and the defensive staff, and obviously we want to see them continue where they left, and but no easy task. St. Olaf creates a lot of fits and some problems, but hopefully we're up to the challenge.
The Cobbers are on the road versus St. Olaf to kick off the conference slate. Game is set for Saturday at 1 p.m. After the break, hear from Carson Wentz ahead of his start with the Vikings on Sunday.
Through 2 weeks, the Minnesota Vikings are 1-1 on the year. After a thrilling come-from-behind victory Week 1 versus Chicago, Minnesota struggled Monday night versus Atlanta, falling 22-6. Now the Vikings welcome in the Cincinnati Bengals for Week 3. And it won't be Joe Burrow behind center for the Bengals. Jake Browning will get the start as Burrow deals with a toe injury that will sideline him for 3 months. While Browning does not have the elite talent and name recognition of Burrow, defensive coordinator Brian Flores says his group cannot overlook the backup on Sunday.
I mean, look, Joe Burrow's, one of the premier players in our league. So it's different, and I'm not taking anything away from Jake Browning. He went in there and played great, last week, and took him down the field and won the game. And schematically, I think they're going to do a lot of the same things.
And Sunday will be a game of the backups, as there will be a new man behind center for the Minnesota Vikings as well. Former NDSU Bison Carson Wentz. Minnesota is Wentz's 6th team in as many seasons, and Sunday will be Wentz's first meaningful start in nearly 3 years.
It's very different, I'm not going to lie. It's exciting, though. It was fun to go out there and sit through install meetings knowing, this is a chance personally that it's been a couple years since I've had, like I said, a meaningful start. And so I've been staying ready behind the scenes, doing whatever I can. And like I said, it's been fast paced, just trying to learn this offense, learn these guys, all the things. But it is quite a bit different. But at the same time, once we went out there and practiced, it was a Wednesday practice, and I kind of fell right back into that same routine I've had for 10 years now.
And with Wentz making his start Sunday, I caught up with the radio voice of the Minnesota Vikings, Paul Allen, and asked him if Wentz has the opportunity to take over the job with a good performance.
Well, I'm not going to say takes over the offense if you mean long term, but I get the comparison, and I was thinking of making it 9 to noon K-Fan today, but the big difference here is, the answer is yes, it could happen. And with that said, hopefully if it does happen and Carson has to play a bunch of games, the last game being the biggest game in the regular season doesn't end up being a flop like the previous example. But with Sam's smart, Carson is smart. Sam had great pedigree and was raised enough to be, a top 5 pick in the NFL in the draft, and Carson was too. But nevertheless, Sam had the entire offseason of organized team activities, mini camp, training camp. He had a lot more than Carson has. Carson's skill set is one that is coveted, and it's good. And, you mentioned the Commanders and the Eagles, but, just 4 years ago, which really isn't that long when you're like 30 some odd years of age, 2021 for the Indianapolis Colts, his center was Ryan Kelly, who's the current Viking center. His right guard, Will Fries, current Viking right guard. And I think he went for 27 touchdowns and just 7 picks. So we're looking at, X amount of fill-in starts ago. He was kind of lights out. So that's the expectation for how many ever games he has to play.
Speaking of the Vikings injury situation, center Ryan Kelly is out with a concussion along with McCarthy and tackle Justin School. Going into the game with a questionable tag is Christian Darrisaw, Harrison Smith, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Austin Keys. Not to mention, not on your screen here, Ty Chandler, Blake Cashman, and Aaron Jones, who are all out multiple weeks on the IR, and Jordan Addison, who is still serving his suspension. One notable active is corner Jeff Akuta, who missed last week. After the break, we're going to review our nominees for the Chris Heise Play of the Week.
It is now time for the best part of the show. Let's take a look at this week's Chris Heise Play of the Week nominees.
4 plays to choose from this week. Let's take a look.
Our first play from earlier, Jax Matter in the pocket, evades the rusher, loads up the cannon, goes deep to Jake Kraft, who is wide open for the touchdown. A beautiful connection for the Shanley Deacons. Here it is again. The future Concordia Comber quarterback takes the snap, watches the rusher is in his face, evades him. Now he pump fakes, sees Kraft down the middle, and his arm does the rest. Finds Kraft for 48 yards for the touchdown.
Play 2, Kindred versus Jamestown. Gabe Whipple drops back to pass, and when you have a D1 commit like Brooks Bacco running routes, give him a shot to make a play. Bacco with his Randy Moss impersonation hauling in the ball and takes it to the house for an 89-yard touchdown. Take a look at it one more time. Whipple with a great ball to Bacco, and I am sorry, Blue Jays, Mr. Number 3, but you got mossed. Bacco showing why the big-time college programs want him.
Our third play is from Tuesday. Mamadou Barry gets this ball in the middle. Defense giving him too much room, fires and scores. What a goal by the junior for West Fargo Cheyenne. Let's take another look at that. Just a public service announcement to all defenses. You can't give Barry that much room. He will find a way to score, and he does just that right over the goalie's fingertips.
Play 4 in Barnesville. Hawley back to pass on a 4th and goal, and it's Logan Ellert with the interception for Barnesville. One more time, it's a 50-50 ball to the corner of the end zone, and Ellert shows the alertness to high point the ball and come down with it. Heck of a play.
But who should win? That is for you to decide at home. We have 4 plays to choose from. Is it Mattern to Kraft for 48 yards? Brooks Bacco's 89-yard touchdown for Kindred? Is it Barry burning the defense for a goal? Or is it Logan Ellert's interception for Barnesville? Vote on our X and Instagram pages at KVR Sports and on the KVR Facebook page. And we'll reveal the winner on Monday night.
Yep, so Red Lake County wins by 32, so they are still unbeaten. Obviously, they won the baseball state title back in the spring, so the sports are just churning in Red Lake County right now.
Man, but it's also really nice for those small communities just to be able to see them rally around stuff like that. But football is back in full swing, and we just love it here.
Yes, we love it. Moorhead versus Maple Grove next week. That's game of the week.
All right, well, folks, have yourselves a wonderful night.